Hello, Hero Collectors here. How's it going, everybody? Hope y'all are doing fantastic. I know I am, because today we're going to be taking a look at these three Star Wars Black Series figures, none of which really have anything to do with each other. But I'm going to group all three in today's review. We have the fifth brother, we have the reissued Clone Commander Rex, and Morgan Elsbeth from the Ahsoka show. So without further ado, let's get into the review. Alrighty, getting into these three figures, let's start off with the fifth brother. I keep wanting to call him the fourth brother, but I try to correct myself here and there. This figure is complicated. I think it has an excellent sculpt. I don't think any of it is reused. I'm pretty sure he is all brand new. He's got some nice textures throughout the undersuit and the armor and all the little details like buttons and lights and whatnot. His pants have details. His face sculpt is excellent. I think it matches the actor that portrayed him in the show pretty well. And I think he goes pretty well with the other Inquisitors. There is a picture that I should have in the video of him standing next to the Grand Inquisitor and Reva, and they all just kind of look really good together, so I do enjoy that. All the paint hits look really good. I don't have any serious blemishes on my figure. But that's about all the good I can really say. Like, it's executed really well, but there's some serious issues with this figure. First up, it's not big enough. He is way too short. He has really big feet, but not the body to match it. Like, I have him standing currently next to my Rex, and he is ever so slightly shorter than Rex. This character should be bigger than Rex, and I know they're going for the look in the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, but we saw him in Rebels, and he is much larger than the other characters in that show. And I wouldn't say he's like a Hulk size, but he's more of just a bigger brute. He's got at least a head on most of your average size characters, so to get him being this short is really disappointing. And then when articulating him, and this is something that I'm starting to notice with a lot of Black Series, is the crossbody. Getting him to grip his lightsaber two-handed, it's a real pain in the butt, and especially trying to manipulate the arms to work with the lightsaber in the crossbody. It's really hard, and it doesn't look good sometimes, and that's just another fault of this figure, even though it's a common thing throughout the line. And then my last complaint is something I kind of mentioned. It's the feet size. It's way too big in proportion to the rest of the body. Again, if the body was scaled up a little bit, it would probably fit and not be a problem, and it would be two problems solved with one simple change. Now, does he have the fun factor? I would say no. I did not have as much fun posing him around. Like, I didn't have an awful time. It was just, it wasn't like, ooh, and now I can do this picture. Ooh, and now I can do this picture. It was, okay, let's get this set up, and then, okay, he's fallen over, and oh, I can't quite get this pose, and this and that. And it's not a terrible experience. I may be making it sound a little bit worse than it actually was, but it wasn't as fun. Didn't have the fun factor. And giving him a rating, I'm going to have to give him a 6 out of 10. Now, that's also, you have to take into account the fact that I only paid $10 for this guy at Ollie's. I did not get him at full price, so my disappointment with this figure is lessened because I did not pay nearly as much. I kind of knew what I was getting into because of the fact that it ended up at Ollie's, but it doesn't mean it was an awful figure, and I think $10 was just fine for him, and I still feel okay putting him on the shelf to build out my Star Wars universe. Now, moving on to Rex, this is the reissued figure that finally made it out. I can't remember if it was 3 years or 4 years. I think it was about 3 years that I had to wait on this pre-order. Probably 2.5, 3 years, something like that. And I'm not disappointed. You know, I try to stress patience a lot with action figures, and this is one that I think was worth it, despite some of the issues that I have with the figure. But getting into what I do like about the figure, I think it is sculpted really well. Like, the armor looks excellent. But this is also on an old body before I go any further, so while yes, I don't have much of a problem with a lot of the sculpting details as of right now, this is also me in the mindset of a few years ago this was made. So I'm not going to fault it super hard because it is an old body, but I do know the flaws that this figure has. I think the head, especially, is really good. It's painted really well. It has a great likeness. I don't know if this utilizes the digital face printing tech. I would hope it does, but I'm not 100% sure. If it doesn't, it's really impressive. If it does, it looks excellent. Or, still, like, there's no taking away from how good it looks. It really looks like a live action Rex figure. The feel of the fig is also really nice. He doesn't have any like super weird proportions. I would say if I could get the belt to sit a little bit lower on the body, that'd be nice, but when posing him and everything, it looks really nice, and compared to other characters, he has the height and size that he needs. I will say that in this review, I'm just a little biased because I've been dying to get a Rex figure, and now I finally have him, and it's in my favorite armor of Rex. So yeah, I may be enjoying it maybe a little bit too much, seeing the faults for less than what they maybe should be, but I still really like the look and feel of this figure. But getting into those bad points, the paint wash. It's I don't know if it was on the original release of the figure or not, but they went a little heavy with this one. And it's inconsistent in some areas. Like one arm hardly has it, while the other one has more than it should. And putting him with the rest of my 501st clones, it just makes him stand out far more. And I would have liked to seen a little bit less of the wash. And I know there are people that like the wash on figures, then that's completely fine. That's personal preference, really. For me, since all my other clones don't have a wash, I would have preferred them not to put it on this one. So I'm not super upset by it. I'll definitely live with it. It's certainly grown on me, but it's not, I don't love it. And then going back to the fact that this is an old body, the thigh articulation is a real pain in the butt. And it's something that they have remedied since then, so I know that it's something that they have fixed, and I'm not going to really harp on it too much, but it is a problem with this figure. I hope that when they do a Phase 1 Rex, it's resolved. So, does Rex have the fun factor? Yes, he does. I had a blast taking pictures of him and just finding other characters to pose with him and just coming up with shots while having him in hand. That's a real merit of figures that have the fun factor is, do I want to keep taking pictures of them? Do I feel like I've done the figure justice with how good it is while I have it there? And for him, I kept wanting to take more pictures, which is a sign that he has the fun factor. So yes, this Rex, while an old figure, has the fun factor. With that, I'm going to give him a 7.5 out of 10. He's got some issues, but certainly represents Rex in my collection very well, and I'm very, very happy to have him. In terms of missing characters for my collection, he was a big one that just I could not wait to have, but yet I did. I had to have the patience, and it paid off. So I'm very happy to now finally have this Rex figure in hand. Now, last but certainly not least, let's move on to Morgan Elsbeth. Now, like the fifth brother, I will preface this and say that I got her for $10. I found her at my local Walmart in the clearance aisle for $10, and at the time, I was kind of unsure about where I wanted to expand my Star Wars collection, and she was kind of like the first to really usher in my desire to expand, because it was like, oh, $10? Why not? And so there were other figures that I found on sale, and it just kind of spiraled from there. But so getting her for $10 means that I am less disappointed in all the problems that this figure has, and it's only really one major problem that I will get into here in a bit. So let's talk about the good. She does pose really well. I found myself getting her into some really wide stances with the legs and some action poses that I was not expecting to, despite her having this dress. And it's cut in a few places to where you can really get to the legs and pose them up well. She's reusing the Asajj Ventress legs, and it all just kind of comes together to make a posable figure that you wouldn't expect to be so posable. And the face sculpt and paint, came together really nicely. It looks just like the actress from the show and has a lot of personality just in the one look that she has. It has that, like, I know more than you kind of look with a slight smirk that shows intimidation type deal. It just looks really nice. But now let's get into the bad of the figure. And the bad is that she has no freaking accessories. She just came with grip hands on the figure and nothing else. Could she have come with the Beskar spear? Yes. Could she have come with some magic effects? Yes. Could she have come with a sword that she has in the show? Yes. Could she have come with the ball that was like the navigation ball for the galaxy or whatever in the Ahsoka show? Yes. Could she have come with an interchangeable head for when she gets all magicified? Yes. But she came with nothing. And we still haven't seen a re-release of this figure that you would kind of expect would be like the deluxe version to have all the accessories. But no, it's just her. So in a lot of the pictures that I took, I had to steal accessories from my Marvel Legends. Like, I think this is a Wong sword and some Scarlet Witch hands and some green magic effects that maybe came from Sylvie. I can't remember. But she came with nothing. And the only reason this figure came to life for me is because of the accessories that I added. So, leaning into my fun factor or not, no, she doesn't have fun factor unless you take the accessories you already have and make her have fun factor. And once you give her those accessories, she does. And that's cool. That's awesome. I had a blast once I gave her the accessories. But I shouldn't have to steal from other lines to make this figure better. So she really should have come with accessories, and the fact that she doesn't, it's a huge letdown of what this figure could have been. So, with that, I'm going to give her a 5 out of 10. It's a good base figure. And for $10, I'm not all that bummed that I spent it on her. But she needed accessories. That's it. Like, she's not like a major popular character like an Anakin or something like that, but she could have been an excellent figure if you would have just given her those accessories. And I think it's a real letdown that the Black Series team didn't. So now with all of that being said, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Again, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will talk to you all in another video, another post, another time.